something along those lines. And then I have I gotta make sure that coaster stays here today.
You got some.
It's in
your truck.
It's been in my truck for like years.
You know, like the longest commercial break ever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We've just been waiting for the camera guy to tell us the camera was
something.
rolling. You know, we've been here for weeks and months.
Every time he counts us down.
Yeah.
Gives us some sort of thing.
We've just been sitting here.
Well, now they know I have a coaster in my truck. That's been the last like 10 years.
So this is Try Before We Die, and we're back at the bar, the bitter end, a whiskey bar in the European tradition. I think we started this now with about 300 bottles of whiskey.
About that.
I bet we're somewhere in the 250 bottles in the bar range. Due exclusively to all we've been really doing is opening bottles. Due to the pandemic, there has been no shopping trip.
I know. It's been one of those dry spells where at least we're making a dent in what's here. Yeah. But as you've said before, and I will partake in this, I'm sure we will add a few bottles.
Yeah. So I hope you've been like stashing some stuff from your wallet aside, because it's going to be a big trip.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure I could do Chicago big. But I definitely be worth spending some coin.
So though it's been a long commercial break, I really do remember that when there's not a bottle on the bar, that means
it is a open episode, and we're going to be exploring your lovely, lovely bar on the ground floor.
The ground floor. Yeah, on a summer day.
Oh, gorgeous summer day.
Yeah.
Preparing to leave.
Yeah. We're headed out of here in the morning to fishing camp with a lot of the crew from the paintball team from back in the days. We'll see how those old guys can keep up.
Yeah, no, it was going to be a lot of fun seeing those guys again, especially now that most people have got their shots and COVID is still something that's lingering in the background.
Yep.
But hopefully, this means we're turning the corner a little bit, and we may see more guests. And perhaps maybe a special episode up at camping.
I would say the bar is open.
The bar has been open.
The bar is open
been nice.
Back up. If you are had your shot, or feel safe and have been playing it safe, I mean, I really feel like the bar is open, and we'll soon to have guests here on set
on a regular basis.
On a regular basis is the idea. So with that said, it's not a disaster in here because we had an event here a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. We had scrapbooking for paintball.
Yep. There are some videos on our personal pages. And we did release one video from that weekend, but it was really just sort of... really just wasn't up to snuff kind of a video.
It was a slightly different take on what we try to do. There was a few elements here that certainly changed the dynamic.
Yeah.
And I know
the culture.
Yeah. And I know there's a certain individual out there that wants us to release the lost tapes.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for maybe a decade or two.
Right, yeah. I'm thinking never. Teapot. Never.
Because that one was a completely different episode.
Yeah. Disaster. Certainly, I said to my wife earlier, we actually were talking about that. That we truly have a lost episode now.
That's put it lightly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been involved in something so disastrous. But I will say this: the whiskey was good. The Scotch was good.
Sure. I think we had the Oban Little Bay for the episode we did release.
Correct.
For my birthday from you, and then there was an Aberfeldy 12 that we opened. That was a birthday gift from the crew here. We opened, but that episode has been lost.
It's on the cutting room floor, as far as I'm concerned.
It's sort of like the mat to the outside on the cutting room floor. It's like you wipe your feet on.
Yeah, maybe someone someday will go through and try to find the footage and release it and embarrass us, because it certainly was embarrassing.
It was just a disaster.
And
Teapot, if he sees this one, he's gonna bombard the comments with "release it, the people want to see it," and no, you don't.
No, the people don't want to see that.
I
don't want to see it.
Yeah, I don't. I think I watched part of it once and was like, I have to walk away from this. So regular episodes,
Yep.
We do the random number generator. I've got one spun up on the phone over
It
here.
seems like ages since we've done one of these.
It was the longest commercial break ever. We really apologize. We've actually got a few pieces of feedback privately, saying a few Saturday nights have been spoiled as people sat down with their own bottle to watch the episode and there was no release.
It's good to hear, but yeah, we apologize. Like I said, things have been a little bit hectic. A couple of things have come up in my life that I had to take care of.
Same here, for sure, same here. It's a busy time of year as the spring turns into summer.
Yep.
If you're a property owner, you have a lot of things to attend to. And if you're married and you're a property owner, what is that? You better do it list? Honey-do list, the honey-do list, right? Not the melon, not the honey-do melon. No, the honey-do list sometimes goes on. And, and I know you do, and I definitely do create my own list.
Yeah, you probably more than me.
Yeah, I'm a chore guy for sure. But my phone, we've been chatting so long, my phone has gone dark, so I'm going to get it open. Hopefully we're right where we left it, and let's just hit that. I think, it's a generate. I thought it might have been calculate, but it says generate. So flash, we have no idea the number of bottles. There are gaps all over in front of us and behind us on the other side. There's a 19-year-old who lives he turned 20, who lives on this property. And, and I would be like, God, has that guy been down here stealing bottles?
I don't think he's that brave.
Yeah, he would be pushing it. Here we go. Generate. Bottle number 91.
Oh, it's in there.
So it's up here, because it's like 98 or 99. Oh, there's jelly.
Oh.
Well, bottle number 91. Let's just see what jelly has to say. Let's see. I wonder how you do this here. Oh, God, this is just so
This
terrible.
is about as bad as that episode.
This is going to be a loss. He found my charging cord. I helped him dig a 100-yard trench, and I lost my charging cord to my phone in his driveway.
And he's found it.
He found it. I brought my backhoe over to his place.
I probably bought one over there.
Yeah. Bottle number 91. So,
are you sure it's up there?
98 is the end bottle if all the bottles are there. So the real question is how many bottles are missing behind us?
None on this side.
2, 3, 4. Right?
Yeah. None. Oh,
5. Okay, so this is a 75. So 70.
Yeah.
So 21. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Oh. The blue, the Kilchoman.
Is it?
91. That's
right.
21. So we've drank one of these before. Not this particular one. I just wonder if it's open over here. We did. We drank the Sanag, and we're coming over here. So this is that distillery, Mal, that I talked about a little bit. So this is the Machir Bay. That is a recent distillery, more of a newer distillery that for a little while was releasing spirits.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't aged the full 3 years to be a Scotch. And in order for them, I believe, sort of to keep the funding and the money coming in, they, essentially a moonshine were just releasing clear spirits until they sort of got there. So let's see what we can figure out about this.
Oh, we have literature's on your side as well.
Yeah, the literature won't be in this one.
Oh, that's right, because this is a newer one.
It's a newer one. Right. So first off, I feel like the secret, so this bottle arrived in this bar in 2016. So this has been here for 5 years. I saw you notice some of the dust on the bottle. So this is an Islay, which is an interesting whiskey for us to randomly pull on a nice day, because traditionally the Islas will be
light.
Traditionally the Islas will be
light.
Traditionally the Islas will be, they're known for their
fruitiness.
Peaty smokiness. It's good to see Mal keeps up on his notes.
Yeah, whatever. Actually, what am I talking about? Good Lord.
Yeah, there it is. Everybody saw the cog turned, click, into place. Natural color, non-chill filtered. No age statement. Anything on the back?
I think it's used to say. Oh, never mind. Yep. No.
Okay, so color is. They're declaring it a beach. It is very light. So
it is very light.
Very, very
so
light.
So if they're going to call a beach like the yellowy color,
yes,
then I would say they're probably right on it.
And it's spelled that way, not with the A like the sand.
Correct.
Yes. On the nose, lemon and citrus with a sweet, smoky aroma. So that's interesting. So that's declaring a lot of lightness.
Yes.
With the lemon and the citrus with just a slight smokiness, because smoke is very powerful. On the palate, vanilla and butterscotch. See, this is just speaking to me. With an intense, sweet, peaty aftertaste.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. And a long, lingering finish. So this has a lot of potential here because it's talking about this light, lemony, citrus beginning, vanilla, butterscotch, sweet middle, and this peaty ending.
Sweet, peaty.
Intense, sweet, peaty ending. With a long, lingering finish. I'm excited to try this now. They have done good with their language.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot to it.
Yep.
I'm certainly, a lot of it will be trying to figure out where these tastes are.
Yeah, we'll see if it's just so amazingly present or if we have to dig for them. This is one of my favorite parts of these episodes, Mal, is that, it's so obvious we're opening these bottles.
Correct.
Right, and I love it when we can find evidence of when the bottle came to the bar. So this has been here for 5 years.
And there's a lot of dust on it.
Yeah. I actually, a fellow I work with is moving on to another job, and so I brought him a bottle, and he said, "This is from your bar." And I said, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "No, I can tell. It's covered in dust." And again, but because there's been no additions to the bar in over a year, really. So everything's been sitting here.
Yeah, nothing's been put in and then actually just into the bar. You've had a few bottles brought in, but we've drank them.
Right. Nothing has just been really shelved.
Correct.
Yeah. This is a really light whiskey, Malcolm. I mean, in its color.
Yeah, no, it's actually, now the more you said that Isla, I kept thinking Speyside.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not an Isla.
Yeah.
That's a Speyside.
There's no other casking notes, so we will assume this is a single cask. It hasn't been recast at all. So here we go. Here's our pop. Let's see. It's got a nice wide cork here.
Oh, nice sound.
Yeah, a little bassy. Sweet and peaty. Right. What do you think? How's the nose?
It definitely,
Lemon, citrus with a smoky aroma.
You can pick up the citrus on the very, very, when you take your first whiff, you can pick up that citrus, and then it just gets into this sweetness. But it's almost, and I don't want to say it because it isn't, but it almost smells very, maybe slightly medicinal.
Try it in the glass now that it's opened up. Real briefly, I did get some of that lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely smell the lemon.
So when we taste this, we're looking for vanilla, butterscotch, and an intense, sweet, peaty.
And see, now I don't smell that as I described, that medicinal. Now it's more of just a smell. You can smell that citrus, you can smell the sweet, but the peatness of it, that smokiness, has got to be in the taste.
This really is another example of why glasses matter. We really have to break out the gold
Correct.
cairn glasses and talk about the bell shape and the opening up of the flavors at some point.
But it's very light colored.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it just the right way, I mean, it could almost be clear in the glass.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the color here in the bottle really is dependent upon the volume of it to create a little bit of the color. This is a very light whiskey.
All right. Cheers.
So first, I think we have to keep in mind that it's described with this long, lingering finish, which really is occurring. But I kept it in the front of my mouth now, and I didn't have any of the peatiness to begin at all. And Very sweet, faint vanilla. I didn't pick up on the butterscotch, but as I swallowed it, then we wound up in this long, lingering finish. Not burning though.
No.
Maybe half a second of, oh my gosh, but then it sort of died right out and it just warmed.
It was a lot more mellow than I thought it was going to be when I tasted it. And I'll give you kudos in the sense that I think probably word for word I'd have to describe it the same way. I never picked up the butterscotch. However, I will say that peatiness that they describe, there's like a spike just before it lingers into that sweetness at the end, and then you get like almost that, I'm gonna say that menthol feeling where not that it went numb, but I could feel it just like coat all the way down to about here, and then it just started to disappear, and then just mellowed itself out and it was gone. Right. But I can still, that taste on the back, very back of my tongue is still there. Like I can still taste it. But I never left it in the front of my mouth either.
Right, I held it there for a while. It's deceptive with how light the liquid is. Because it really does pack enough of a punch that it's more than the coloration would suggest, but it's far lighter than you would traditionally think when you see a bottle that's an Islay. In fact, when I saw that it was an Islay when we pulled the number, I was like, oh, it's a warm day in southwestern New Hampshire. You know, Islays, really tend to lend themselves to cooler evenings and wintertime. But this isn't really opposed to the day we're having.
No, this actually sort of, had it been a little bit cooler out, let's just say we were down into the 70s. And I would say with a breeze.
With a breeze, for sure.
You definitely could freaking pull this one off and not worry about being put off balance by it.
I almost feel like if you were going to introduce somebody to an Islay, this might be one to consider because of how light it really is when we think about the range of Islas and the darkness of a lot of those whiskeys.
Yeah, this reminds me of, it was last season we did one. It's very similar in the sense that it was a very good opening addition to if you wanted to do something with peat. But it's very similar in the sense that it really wasn't that boisterous.
Yeah.
You weren't going to be burdened by this peat smokiness that was just going to like bog you down and be like, oh.
I feel like when they use this word intense, I understand why that's a great descriptive word, but I feel like it's more in the range of a moderate in terms of its lingering and its peatiness. It's well more in the moderate.
I think moderate would make a good way of describing the overall drink, but I will say this, when it changes from that lemon citrus, perhaps the butterscotch in there, to the back side of that, when you do get that peatiness and then that sweets, I would say that is intense. That changeover is intense. You know it's there.
I agree with you that the front and the back are very much two distinct experiences. Correct. Yeah, and the back really does come in, but I think I'm thinking of moderate in comparison to Islays in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's the perfect way of putting it. I mean, it really is freaking. I wouldn't. Like I said, I was thinking space idea the entire time when you were talking to me about it, because it doesn't look. And now that I've tasted it, I certainly wouldn't think this was an Islay.
No, it's certainly not in that traditional, like a Balmore or something that really just delivers on the reputation, and certainly by no means are we suggesting this is. That's not a negative against this whiskey at all.
So I put some ice in mine. I saw you put some water in yours. Yeah. So. Okay. Well, for me, that piece of ice, and we'll go again with this cooling properties that we've discussed it. Exact same thing as happened. This has now made this, instead of having that peak and then this, now I've got this one long truncated drink. It's just this one all combined, and it's from the very beginning to the very end. I don't have that spike of when I hit that peatiness, or that sweet lemony citrus on the front side. I don't have that as much. Now I have this very easy going drink. this makes it even more like something I would want to drink in the summer.
And for me, with the water, the front sort of remained the same. And so if before that back end did this, now the back end is doing this.
Okay.
So the water really seemed to cut down on that intense or moderate element of the peatiness. It really cut that down, but didn't seem to impact the front end too much.
So if we were both going to say something about this, I would say probably if you were wanted to keep the drink to its base when you start off with it neat, probably just adding a drop of water would be the way to go. Ices seem to be in a completely different ballgame.
Yep. Okay. So to maintain
that heartbeat.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I pick up on you to sort of maintain the original characteristics. It's the water. Right. To really shift the characteristics. It's the ice.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is, like I said, mine is completely. I would not have even had the descriptives that you had. Mm-hmm. Mine is completely like just an even keeled drink now. Yeah. Though I will say this. I enjoyed it more like this than I did the first time around, but that's more probably because I am closer to being like in my space size rather than I am.
And we are both in short sleeves. It is summertime here, and so the cooling factor probably is pleasant at the same time.
That is true.
Given that it's been a warm day.
Yes. Yeah. And it'll be warm for a few more days.
So this is the, and who knows about the pronunciation, but this is the Kilchoman. Let's see, what does that say? Isla's Farm Distillery. Again, sort of a newer range.
Nice drink though.
Yeah, and I feel like when I got this, it was within the first couple years of them being able to put out actual scotches, because remember, to be a scotch, the entire process has to take place in Scotland and be cask aged there for a minimum of 3 years. So this is somehow labeled in 2016, so that means at minimum this is a 2013, a 3-year-old, but I feel like this is much more than 3-year-old, because they did a bunch of batches to begin and then released a number of spirit releases, because you can't call it a scotch until 3 years.
Correct.
So I think this is probably in those early days of their scotches.
Oh yeah, 8 year. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's too mature, but it's certainly got bones.
Right, so certainly to start a distillery, I mean, you have to sort of have this 10-year plan, right? Because you're really not releasing anything for probably that 6 to 10 year mark. So Mal, I think we can start to wind this one down. The Kilchoman, the Machir Bay or Machir Bay. I tend to think the Scots will do the CH as a K. Which probably is an actual location in the Isla region. But Mal, I put up the toast for today, and it seems like there's a note there that this is a toast we've used before.
Yep. But what have we learned?
So this is cheers in Germany, and some of you may know, some of you may recall, in Germany it's Prost, and that's cheers. But what have we since then? We've learned something about this toast. So let's see where Malcolm's at, and then we'll update you. Prost. Oh, you've done well. Because it turns out, when you're in Germany and you're prosting, when you're cheersing with somebody, if you do not make eye contact, 7 years of bad sex.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So just, it's sort of like that whole broken mirror thing, right? 7 years of bad luck. If you don't make eye contact during your toasts in Germany, the curse is 7 years of bad sex.
Oh, there's something new you wouldn't know every day.
Yep. So,
guess I can't say Prost anymore.
Yeah. Or not just willy-nilly.
Not just let it burn out.
Just tossing it out there while you're tired.
Right, it's good to be back.
Yep.
It's good to be back.
So,
I'm going to just... Prost.